I'm Gabbie Shepherd, and this is my testimony. I'm a single mom of an amazing little red-headed monster. I'm a massage therapist who's going through school to become a chiropractor. I'm a sister to 11 other people. I grew up Baptist. We were a very Baptist household in both houses because my parents were divorced. And I don't know, I think that shaped a lot of how I viewed everything. But when I was about 5, I didn't understand what it meant to be saved, but I had been having this repeating nightmare for about a year because it was around the time that we started moving houses and we were getting ready to go into the big house, and I started having this really weird dream about a dinosaur trying to eat me. But I crawled in bed with my dad one night and I'm like, I can't do it. I'm scared and I don't know how to make the dinosaur go away. And so he and my mom sat with me and they walked me through Romans Road and they talked me through all of these different verses. And my dad said that, God protects the people that he saved and he can make the monsters go away. And I didn't really understand what it meant, but if my daddy said that the monsters would go away because God would make them go away, then the monsters were going to go away. A couple years later, I was in Sunday school and they were talking about what it meant to be saved, and I'm like, I don't feel like that at all, and I'm supposed to be saved. So I raised my hand to go talk to the teacher, and she was like, honey, you got saved a couple of years ago, so how about we just sign you up to get baptized? I'm like, oh, okay, sure, that's what I'm supposed to do next, let's do it. And over the next couple years, I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be saved. I feel like I'm supposed to be saved, but I don't feel like I am. I'm not feeling the feelings that people say they feel when they're saved. I rededicated my life so many times that one of them, I actually got saved and started learning what it meant to be saved. It wasn't really until I moved out on my own and my choice to be in church was my choice. And I found a church that I really enjoyed and I started getting more involved, and honestly, that was the closest that I had been to God in a very long time before I started taking the steps that took me the furthest away from God that I had ever been, and made, honestly, the biggest mistake of my life. But that mistake took me away from my family and my friends and church, and it took me down to this really dark place that I wasn't okay with. Honestly, that next week was awful. It was like one of the worst weeks I had ever had. But I knew that I was going to go back to church that Sunday. And so I did. And when I got home after the second Sunday at that church, everything just kind of blew up. It was a really dark point in my life because at first it was, well, we need to get you away from your friends and family because they're not good enough for you. They're going to hurt you. They're going to pull you down. And then it was, well, of course they're not going to want you now because you're broken and no one's going to want to be around you. You're not thin enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not good enough. And I started to believe it. That day, God was just like, I don't care that you're broken because I can fix you. You just have to come back to me and let me. It was a very long road after that with a lot of very bad decisions. But I got back into church and I was still making a lot of really dumb decisions, but I was learning. But then I had Jasper. And Jasper was this wake-up call that it's not just you anymore. And I had to make a lot of changes in my life. I had to make a lot of choices to do better and be better. God had a plan for me. And God has a plan for my son. And even when I'm in those lows, he's still there with me. And he still has that plan. I just need to get out of his way and let him work it. And so I'm slowly learning. But every time I actually try and stop controlling my life, he does something amazing. I'm learning slowly.